Today I'm going to be showing you how to introduce a saddle pad and saddle to your horse. The horse I'm working with today is Sunny, a 4-year-old Mustang gelding, who will be available after I start him under saddle. I start with just showing him the saddle pad by waving it in the air. As you can see, he's nervous about it, but I let him move until he's going to choose to stand still on his own. I don't want to force him to stand, but as you can see here, I don't let him just run off as well. I correct that by yielding his hindquarters, but I keep the saddle pad moving at the same time. Once he's willing to stand, with me still moving the saddle pad around, I give him a release to show him that that's what I'm asking. Once he's had time to think about it, I go ahead and start again, exactly where I was before. And as you can see here, he has almost no issue. Because he did so good with it moving around, I go ahead and start bringing it up onto his back. He flinches a few times, but then does better, so I go ahead and give him another release. I'm doing the same pattern of introducing it to him, and wherever he flinches or has an issue with it, I keep going at the same spot and same speed until he relaxes to it. I continue to give him breaks as he gets better and better, and as you can see here, he gets pretty interested in it. An important thing I want to point out is the fact that I always have him on a long enough line for him to be able to move around. I want him to learn how to stand still on his own and not by me trying to make him stand. And as you can see here, he's learned that pretty good. I'm able to loop the lead line over my shoulder and he's still standing there patiently. This will make the first saddling much easier, as well as training him that standing still is going to be the answer whenever he gets scared or nervous. Now that he's accepted it on his left side, I'm moving over to start on his right. As you can see, he's already doing much better at accepting the saddle pad on this side. He gets a little nervous when I start hitting it against my legs just because of the sound it makes. So I go ahead and I keep doing that until he realizes that it's no big deal. After he's fine with that, I go ahead and I start getting him used to having it on his body. I'm just repeating exactly what I did on the offside. Once he's comfortable with that, I start switching, going back and forth, putting it on one side and taking it off on the other. At this point, he's done a really good job, so I give him a nice long break. I ask him to walk around wearing it for the first time. Sometimes horses will have a big issue having something on them as they move around for the first time. But as you can see here, it didn't faze him at all. Since he did such an amazing job with that being his first time seeing the saddle pad, I decided to go ahead and introduce him to throwing the saddle up onto his back. And he couldn't have handled it better. After throwing it up a few times on his left side, I go ahead and repeat everything on the right side. I don't want to train, quote, one-sided horses, so I start with doing everything on both sides from day one. After giving him a nice long release, I go ahead and ask him to take his first steps wearing the saddle. If I wasn't confident that he would be able to do this without spooking, I would have waited until I had him cinched up to ask him to walk, but because he handled the saddle pad so good, I knew he was ready for this. And that's where he finished for the day. I'm super proud of how he handled this. He's such a fun little horse to work with, so make sure to subscribe to see his entire training journey.